of Mount Everest. I've sailed the 7 seas. I've shared the stage with all the best. A lot of good it did for me.
So, finally home from the hospital. First off, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who left a message on the last video. I did not expect to get that many get well wishes and heal fast and everything. I'm totally blown away by all the comments. So I wish everyone who had a crash and ended up in the hospital had the same kind of support. If that doesn't get your spirits up, I don't know what will. So really, thank you from the bottom of my bottom bracket. I'm blown away. But I wanted to do a bit of a follow-up video, maybe explain a bit more what happened and do a little bit of a damage check. So like I said, I rear-ended a car. We were descending a pretty nice descent, big wide roads and not too much traffic. And here's, well, my memory get a bit hazy because I don't actually remember everything that happened, but I've been told that a car overtook us, which then decided to stop up ahead. And the last thing I remember, just looking up and realized that I will never be able to avoid this car. The next thing I remember was me lying on the ground, like gasping for air, and had a brief look down towards my knee, and I just remember seeing blood pulsating out of my knee, and I was like, yeah, this is bad. Then everything's kind of a haze until ambulance came. I remember my mate telling me that the bike seemed okay. The fork didn't seem to be cracked even. It didn't actually fall out until at the hospital. So at least I thought the bike was okay. That turned out to not be the case though. So what happened is I sliced my knee open, just below the kneecap, like a 10 centimeter cut underneath the kneecap, all the way down to the bone. So there was a lot of blood. So they sold me up at the hospital, and they didn't think that I actually had anything broken. Sent me to the X-ray, and after, and I also had a CT for. This is how the helmet looks. So I apparently hit my head as well, which makes sense because there's stuff I don't really remember there. So yeah, this baby saved the little thing I have left, I think. So thank you, Cask. Anyway, the CT scan didn't show any bleeding or anything in the brain, so that was good news. But later the X-ray came back and it appeared to be a crack in my kneecap, of course, because I am prone to breaking bones. It's not the first time, unfortunately. This was back when I broke my femur. I actually didn't realize it. I had my friend Mark come pick me up in the mountains, and I managed to get into the car and everything. Eventually went to the hospital, and turns out I broke my femur. Since the cut in the knee was so deep, they were really worried about it getting infected, so that's why I had to stay at the hospital for a week almost and get a lot of antibiotics and stuff like that. For now, the leg is in the cast, I can't bend anything. It's very inconvenient, but it could have been much worse, so I'm very grateful to still have my brain intact, and with some rehab I hopefully can get back to riding eventually, at least. In terms of damage, of course the most important part was the bike. The fork snapped at the bottom headset bearing, and that kind of makes sense because that's where the force, probably the most force came. And as you can see here, this is how it looks. Kind of painful to look at. Poor carbon fork. Funnily enough though, if you see, my front wheel actually did not take any damage. Even if I spin this, you see it's still true, and I can't really understand how the front wheel stayed intact. It wasn't even punctured or anything. So if you look at the top cap, you can actually see it's kind of pulled into the stereo tube, so it was quite an impact. Other parts that broke on the bike, the rear shift lever, brake lever, it's kind of, it's pretty done. There's no coming back from this. The other one was no problem, still works fine. not even really scratched or anything. So hopefully I can just source a new left lever and I should be good. Then if we take a look at the rear of the bike, the non-drive side seat stay, you can see it almost looks like it's only the paint that's cracked, but I'm pretty confident that this is a crack in the carbon as well. And you can see this on at least 2 spots at the seat stay. So definitely nothing you want to ride again for sure. Otherwise, most of the components seem to be fine. I haven't looked too much into it yet. Luckily, my beloved Burke saddle has not been scuffed or anything, so very happy about that at least. I might do another video disassembling everything and check every part and what I can use to build out an eventual new bike. I don't know if that would be an interesting video or not, but feel free to leave a comment if you want to see something like that. So in terms of new bike, to be honest, I haven't really thought too far into it, but the Open is basically my dream bike for now. Of course, an upper would be an even better. That's not within my financial reach, and Open has a pretty generous crash replacement policy, so it will most likely be another Open. But before that, I need to make sure all the insurance stuff goes through and there's no problem there. I have separate bicycle insurance, which will hopefully cover my medical costs. It will cover any repairs that has to be done to the car I smacked into. However, the insurance won't cover a new bike. So yeah, I need to just make sure that the medical costs and everything like that is covered before I can start thinking about the new bike. The state of my leg, it will still be a couple of weeks, if not months, before I can ride again, so I'm not in a massive hurry for now. So I've been thinking a lot during this week in the hospital. Why did this end up happening? Of course, a car overtaking us and deciding to stop is a big issue, but even that said, if I wouldn't been just alert enough and focused enough on what was in front of me, this shouldn't have happened, really. So it got me thinking that I'm probably more easily distracted on the road than I thought I was. My mate Mark, for example, he has some kind of spider sense. He can sense a car coming from the side like 10 k's ahead. I know I wasn't at that level of awareness, but I thought I was pretty normal, not too crazy out on a bike. But with this happening, I kind of realized that I really need to make a more conscious effort to be aware of what's happening around me. In the end, it doesn't matter if it's your fault or if it's the car's fault or someone else's fault. If there's a crash involving a cyclist and a car, us cyclists will always lose, no matter whose fault it is. So I'm just gonna take this to heart and try to be more aware when I'm out riding. So just stay safe out there and just remember to wear this thing. It's awesome and it can probably save you as it did me. But that's enough of that serious and moody stuff. Even though I can't ride it for a while, I still have some nice nerdy bike tech stuff content coming up if everything goes to plan. So stay tuned. If you found this video interesting or helpful in any way, leave a like, subscribe if you feel like it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.